Prime Time Local News, serving the Lakeland and Midwest regions.
And the month of August has officially begun. As we head through the summer season, we never know what conditions we can expect. Our Shelby Clark chats with Global News meteorologist Peter Quinlan on temperatures we'll see to finish off this summer.
Joining us today for Primetime Local News is Peter Quinlan, Global News meteorologist. Thank you so much for taking the time to speak with us once again, Peter.
Yeah, thanks for having me, Shelby.
Of course, no problem, because we have spoken quite a few times already, of course, about the summer forecast and whatnot. You know, we love to get your expertise. But now, as we are starting off into August, we really wanted to speak with you and just be able to kind of see what we can expect for, here in the border city and the surrounding area. But starting off first, I guess, like speaking for July, how would you say that the conditions have been across our region?
Yeah, well, July kind of started off a little bit cooler and then it really warmed up. Overall in Lloydminster, temperatures actually ended up landing right around average. Around 16.9 degrees was the average temperature. That's the overnight lows combined with the daytime highs. Normally we should be around 17 degrees. So in terms of that, pretty close to average. In terms of precipitation, we saw 38.2 millimeters of moisture at the Lloydminster Airport. And normally throughout the month of July, we would see 75.3. So that was just about a third of what we should be seeing for that month.
And do you think with seeing those conditions for July, that may have somehow impacted what we can expect for August?
Probably not, although I think we're going to kind of continue to this pivot towards some warmer temperatures. It might end up just being slightly warmer than normal for the month of August for the Lloydminster area. We are looking at that above average temperature anomaly expected throughout the Midwest region. So we'll continue to see that trend. There will still be some cooler days, and we're going to start things off on a fairly mild note as we work our way toward the end of the week. But then into the long weekend, we'll see kind of mid 20-degree temperatures. Normal daytime high is in the mid 20s though. So I think we'll be reaching those values for the next little while here, and then we'll likely see a bit of a slump as we take you into next week before a bit more of a build up into the middle of the month. So we'll probably end up being around or slightly warmer than normal throughout the month of August.
Oh, that's really good. I was just going to ask if we were going to be expecting any extreme heat temperatures or conditions for August. Now, would you say that for July, June, and just for the summer months so far for this year, it's been kind of different than what we have been seeing previously last year?
Yeah, we have seen an overall bit of a change up in the trend, although summer's always a little bit of a crapshoot because of thunderstorms. They're a bit of a wild card, so we can sometimes see a strong storm come through, dump a heavy amount of rain over Lloydminster, and then we might not see any moisture for the rest of the month. So this summer we have seen some above average temperatures, or actually we started out around average in July, and then we're going to move into some above average temperatures for August. Compared to previous years, it's kind of been a little bit all over the place in terms of hotter than normal conditions. The big difference I think we're going to notice is this coming winter, actually, which is going to be a warmer, likely, and drier than normal winter with an El Nino setup moving in. So that's going to be quite the contrast to the past 3 winters where we've had some colder than normal conditions and snowier than normal conditions with 3 La Nina years in a row, which typically bring about that pattern. So we're going to be watching that, particularly as we head through fall. It actually could be a warmer than average fall as well, which is September, October, and November, and that trend could continue into winter.
Oh, that would be nice to maybe have a warmer fall. That's always nice to have for trick-or-treating and
Yes,
Halloween as well.
yes.
So that could be really nice. Yeah,
Mhm.
exactly. But, kind of expecting that after coming through the summer. Would you say it's been honestly a really great summer so far? Would you say that honestly,
Mhm.
like people should be happy? They should be happy with seeing some of these conditions with what's been going on because you never know what could come with the thunderstorms. Like we
Mhm.
could be expecting, who knows, maybe even some more tornadoes coming up in August.
Yes, that's right. We do have the possibility severe weather does go into August as well, but it will begin to ramp down. We're definitely on the tail end of that. I would definitely say it's been a very nice summer in Lloydminster. The only thing that we've kind of been missing are the 30-degree days. We actually haven't seen any in July or in June. So if you really like the sweltering, sizzling heat, then it may have not been the summer for you. But you know what? These mid to upper 20s are still above average for most of the days. And you know what? For most people, that's a little more comfortable than the 30-degree heat.
Awesome, awesome. Thank you so much for joining us again there, Peter. It's always nice speaking with you.
Yes, great. Thank you so much, Shelby. Likewise.
And Shelby's here in person to give us our first look at weather. Seems like you
Yep.
got some good information from Peter Quinlan there.
Oh, yes. It's always nice to speak with Peter, honestly, getting his expertise on what we can expect. And
Yeah.
of course, summer is flying by, so I'm pretty sure.
Unfortunately.
Unfortunately, right? But
Yeah.
we really want to see what we can expect. And some of these conditions have been a bit crazy. So it's always nice to hear if we'll see some scorchers or whatnot. and just see what we can find and have here in the region and the surrounding area as we end off the summer season.
It seems like we've had a nice warm start to August already. This week should be nice and warm.
Oh, it's going to be nice, and we're going to look a little bit more into it as I kind of go a little bit more into our weather forecast here, but let's go check it out. All right, so here in the border city, we are just sitting at 24 degrees. So we are looking at a beautiful day indeed, kind of for our Tuesday, just sitting at 24. So we are just seeing those mid-20s. So today we are seeing another beautiful day, mixture of some sun and clouds. So we are going to kind of see these conditions kind of continue on as we go through the week, but I'll get a little bit more into that. Switching over to temperatures across the region for Alberta and Saskatchewan. On the Alberta side, most spots are just sitting around 24 to 25 degrees, so kind of following suit with us here in the border city. And then we have a couple that are looking slightly warmer. We have 26 up in Cold Lake, while it is 26 down in Provost, and then we even have one just sitting at 27 down in Wainwright, and going a bit higher up to Lac La Biche, they're just sitting at 22, so they are looking slightly cooler, but we are seeing those mid-20s for the most part, so looking pretty nice on our Alberta side. Going over to our Saskatchewan side here, they are kind of matching with us with these conditions as well on our Alberta side. We're looking at 23 up in Isle La Crosse, but we start to warm up from there as we go a bit lower. Most are just sitting around 24 to 25, and going a bit lower to these spots here, Maidstone and Macklin at 27 degrees, and North Battleford is just at 28, so we're even getting closer to that 30-degree mark in some of these areas as well, so seeing some scorchers in some of these spots. North Battleford will be going down to a low of 9, so they are expecting that single digit for tonight. So they will be cooling down slightly from what they can expect for the evening. They are expecting mainly clear and a calm night, not seeing too high of a chance of precipitation. Then for their Wednesday, daytime high of 30 degrees, so North Battleford will be continuing on those scorchers, especially for tomorrow for their Wednesday at 30. So they will be seeing a heat warning in place, and they are expecting a much sunnier day. So please make sure you are being safe. I always say use that sunscreen and drink lots of water. Staying hydrated is top priority if you're going to be outside whatsoever. Cold Lake will be going down to low of 10, so they will be expecting those double digits for tonight, expecting more of a clear and calm night as well. They won't be seeing a high chance of rainfall, unfortunately. Usually that kind of helps balance out these dry heat conditions. Then for their Wednesday, daytime high of 26 degrees, so even looking a slightly closer to that 30-degree mark, and they are expecting a day full of plenty of sunshine. So a sunny day expected for Cold Lake tomorrow. For us here in the border city, we will be going down to a low of 11, so we are expecting those double digits. Quite a warm night as we have been seeing throughout the past few weeks. We are expecting more of a cloudier evening. We won't be seeing a high chance of precipitation like we kind of saw already starting off today. We had a slight drizzle, so that was nice to have, but I think we would like a little bit more rainfall here and there. And then for our Wednesday, daytime high of 27, so we are looking at a scorcher for tomorrow, warming up even more than what we have been seeing for the past couple days. We're looking at 27 and expecting a sunny day, so it's going to be beautiful tomorrow. So please make sure you are being safe and also enjoying it. And ending off with a look at some of your weather photo submissions. Thank you to everyone that submitted. We got some just from around everywhere. This one is from the Vermilion Fair. Absolutely gorgeous shot. Love to see it. You got a great angle here. You got to see the sky and the fair all in one. This one is from Bev at Bud Miller. Gorgeous shot as always, Bev. Thank you for this. This one is from Nadine and RM of Wilton. Gorgeous colors in the sky. And this last one is from our classic Jace Mackey over in Nordegg. Love to see it, Jace. Thank you for this. That's all I have for now. For first look, here your weather forecast.
I finally made an appearance in the weather photos. I love it. Stay with us, though. After the break, we'll have a look at today's business news. Moving to sports now, the Lakeland Rustlers beach volleyball program finished up their season this past weekend. Let's head over to Thomas Waldman, who has some more.
The Lakeland Rustlers are hosting their final beach volleyball tournament at Bud Miller All Seasons Park, this being the mixed fours tournament, which, like all the events throughout the summer, were highly attended.
It's been phenomenal. We've had 70 athletes, about 15 coaches, a bunch of alumni come back and play. We've been running 3 sessions a week for the past 7 weeks, and huge numbers every single week. Our tournaments, we've had upwards of 70 participants, which has been amazing, and even the trainings all throughout the week. Even despite busy summers, the athletes are turning up to play, which is really cool.
With Peck and other previous Rustlers coming back to Lloydminster to help with the program, they're helping set up the next generation of volleyball players in the Lakeland area.
I think it's actually really cool that Matt came from, he's not even from here, and he came to Lloyd, this small town, just to come and, practice volleyball and, teach younger people, and I think that's, really inspiring that he did that.
The program has been running now for 6 years, and for those who have been with the program for many years, they have gotten opportunities to play beach volleyball competitively elsewhere.
Beach has brought me to a lot of places. This summer, I'm leaving in August to go to Florida for beach volleyball. So, it takes you a lot of places. I've been to Saskatoon. I've been playing in a lot of tournaments. It takes you a lot of places.
The program is also a great place for young volleyball players to meet kids who love the sport of volleyball as much as they do.
There's people from all over Saskatchewan, Alberta, everywhere that come here to play beach. I remember in our first year there was only 11 people maybe in the program, and now it's the biggest beach volleyball program in Saskatchewan, so it's absolutely insane how many people come out every year, and it just keeps on growing, and I just recommend it to anyone who's even thinking about it. You need to try it for sure.
Thomas Wildman, Primetime, Local News.
And now it's time for us to check in with Shelby Clark once again for another look at your evening weather forecast.
Thanks again there, Mr. Jace Mackey. Yes, now taking an extended look at your weather forecast, we'll be starting off with our central zone of the provinces. And on our Alberta side, we are still kind of sitting at those mid-20 temperatures, so we haven't cooled down by too much than what we have been seeing starting off this week. We have been kind of seeing this warm streak continue on throughout the week. Most spots are just sitting around 23 to 24 degrees, and then we have a couple that are looking slightly warmer. We have Jasper and Edmonton just at 25, and up in Cold Lake now sitting at 26. So we are seeing the warmest condition there, and over in Athabasca just at 22. So we are still seeing some pretty nice temperatures on our Alberta side. Going over to our Saskatchewan side, however, they are looking slightly warmer compared to our Alberta side. They are seeing those mid-20s with Meadow Lake and Prince Albert at 25, but then they start to warm up from there. 27 over in Melfort, while North Battleford is still just sitting at 28 degrees, and now in Saskatoon they are now seeing 30 degrees. So we do have some of that heat warning in place in some of these areas on our Saskatchewan side. Going over to our northern zone, they are slightly warming up, kind of continuing with what we are seeing in our central area. On our Saskatchewan side, they have some spots that are still looking quite cool. Up in Uranium City and Wollaston Lake, they're just sitting at 17 degrees, so they haven't quite reached that 20-degree mark just yet. Now we have Stony Rapids now just hitting that mark, and then we start to warm up with most spots just sitting at 23 degrees, and down in Flin Flon at 28. So Flin Flon is looking a lot closer to that 30-degree mark for today. Going back over to our Alberta side here, they are still matching with their temperatures than what they saw yesterday. They were starting to slowly warm up, kind of trying to follow suit with us here in our central area. But Grand Prairie is seeing the warmest condition there just at 23, and then we start to slightly cool down. 21 in Slave Lake and Fort McMurray, while we are just sitting at those teen temperatures in Fort Chipewyan, High Level, and Peace River between 17 to 19 degrees. And now as we go over to our southern zone, they are still continuing seeing the warmest conditions compared to what we have been looking at in our central and our northern zones. On our Alberta side, we still have Lethbridge and Medicine Hat seeing that heat warning in place with 30 in Medicine Hat and 29 in Lethbridge. So please make sure you are still being safe and enjoying it out there. 27 up in Coronation, while Calgary and Banff are now looking at the coolest temperatures on this side, just at 26. And going back over to our Saskatchewan side here, they are still seeing some scorchers. 34 now in Moose Jaw, and Moose Jaw was just looking at around 35 to 36 yesterday. Sitting at 32 in Regina, while most are now just sitting at 31. And Swift Current is the coolest on the side, now just at 30, but they all are just seeing past that 30-degree mark. So of course they have that extreme heat warning in place in our southern zone on our Saskatchewan side. So please make sure you are staying hydrated over there. You're going to need lots of water. And now looking at some overnight evening lows in this list in our surrounding area in these spots for tonight, we will be expecting those double digits to continue on for our evening lows. Isla Cross will be expecting that low of 13, while Provost will be expecting that low of 12. Low of 10, Bonnyville and Paradise Hill will be seeing tonight, and Meadow Lake will be the only spot on this list with that single digit and a low of 9. But all of these areas aren't expecting a high chance of precipitation. They are expecting more of a clear and calm night. And looking at a little bit more areas here, they all are kind of expecting those same conditions, with a low of 12 being the warmest with Wainwright and Calgary. The rest are just seeing around a low of 10 to 11. Pearson is expecting that low of 9, but they also will not be seeing a high chance of rainfall. Unfortunately, in our surrounding area, we are not expected to see much rainfall for the evening. And looking at our hourly forecast for our Wednesday here in the border city, we are going to be warming up slightly more from what we saw today. Right off in the morning, we will be hitting that 20-degree mark right when you get up. And then as we go through our mid-afternoon daytime high, 26 to 27 degrees. So we are even getting closer to that 30-degree mark for tomorrow. Wednesday should be probably one of the warmest days of this week, because as we pass through Wednesday, we will be seeing that continue on into our Thursday. So we got some 2 scorchers coming up here. Just be prepared. We got some beautiful days. Then we will cool down slightly for Friday as we head into the weekend at 25. We still will be looking at those mid-20s, and we'll see that continue on as we head off near the end of the weekend. And as we head into next week for next Monday and Tuesday, we will be seeing those mid-20s for the rest of next week. And that's all I have for now. RJ Smacky will have more news coming up after the break.
I'm at Border Paws Animal Shelter for another edition of Pet Project, and today we have a giant tank named Moose, and he is so precious. I actually saw him a few weeks ago. I met him, and I refer to him as Tank for obvious reasons, but he does seem like one of the sweetest boys. So tell me a little bit about his story and how he came to be.
Yeah, so he was a surrender. Nothing of his fault or the owners. It's just, it just wasn't the right timing for them. Basically, things changed in their life that they couldn't keep him because he is quite a big boy. So yeah, he's about 6 years old. It's kind of, I think, maybe a Mastiff Dane mix. We're not really 100% sure. Lab, maybe. But he's a big boy anyway, so he's very sweet. He lived with toddlers and babies before, so we know that he is good with children. I guess he's dog selective. He likes some of the dogs here. Yeah, so he likes some of the dogs here, but he doesn't really like cats from what we've noticed. So we're thinking, if you have a dog, it would have to be, you'd have to bring it down and we do an introduction and see how it goes. Cats, though, it sounds like he likes to chase them, so that would probably be a no-go. But yeah, he's really good with kids. A lot of the volunteers that come in, a lot of the youngins walk him with their parents, and they've had no issues. He does have a bit of joint issues right now. It's given with any big breed, right, that you're gonna have that. So yeah, thank you to everybody who has been sending us joint and hip supplements for him, because he does also have allergies. So he has chicken allergies, so he would have to be on like beef or turkey, duck, that kind of thing, fish. But yeah, he's a great boy. He's very sweet. I mean, don't let the size fool you. He's a big suck.
Usually that's the case with a lot of large dogs. They may look scary, but they're actually, the sweetest when it gets down to it. So that's
Gentle
awesome.
giants.
Which is great. How long has he been here? Do you know?
It's been a good couple of months now, right? So I'd say, yeah, about 2, possibly 3 months now.
That doesn't seem too bad in the grand scheme of things. Now, with the rest of the animals, have you seen a lot of intake? How many animals do you still have here? And are you still getting, the strays season?
Yeah, so we're seeing quite a bit still. I mean, summertime, you got lots of dogs roaming, as well as cats. I believe we have 101 animals in our care right now, so it's quite a bit. Luckily, fosters have really helped us out there. But yeah, we're still seeing kittens all the time, as well as puppies. I know we're quite full with puppies, and from the sounds of it, every rescue is quite full with puppies. We actually managed to get rid of all of ours. We've only got a couple left in care, but give it another week or two, I'm sure we'll have more.
A whole new litter of puppies and then kittens coming in. I saw a few last week and stuff. Now you have a monthly donor program. Tell me a little bit about that information and how people can get involved if they, don't have time to volunteer, or they just, they want to give back, but they may not know that you have that option.
Yeah, so if you go to our website, you can actually go to our monthly donor, and you can actually pick the amount that you want to do. I mean, even if you only want to give a couple bucks, you can give a couple bucks, or if you want to give a higher amount, anything over 20, you will get a tax receipt each month. You can get a tax receipt for the other stuff, but you'd have to actually reach out to us to get it. But yeah, it's just one of those things that comes off your card each month, so it's nice and easy for everybody, a way to give back. So if you just head to our website, all the information is on there.
And they can give any amount that they want.
Any amount, so that's kind of nice. I mean, if you only do want to do $1 or $2, right? I know money's pretty tight, especially with the price of groceries these days. Yeah, you can even, every dollar helps. So if you just want to do $1, $5, 20, whatever works, right? Like I said, every little amount helps. So.
Which is perfect and very much needed for sure, especially with the amount of animals that you have and continue to have every single day. Now, on top of that, with it being so full, are there any specific donations that you're in need of?
Again, just always food. I mean, I was always saying kitten and puppy food, but adult food as well, adult dog, adults. If anybody has any food that has like not beef in it, I mean, we can always use that for Moose. He eats quite a bit, seeing his size, so he just needs something that food with beef or turkey, duck, salmon, that kind of thing. So if anybody would love to donate a bag for that, we could definitely use it for this big guy. As well as we've gotten a lot of people donating hip and joint treats, but if anybody wants to donate anything like that or glucosamine to kind of help his bones, because he's getting old and having a little bit of trouble getting around these days, so we could definitely use those.
And if they're unsure, they can of course go to your Amazon wish list.
Absolutely, and we have a bunch of examples on there as well. So
awesome. Well, thank you again for joining me. And Moose/Tank, I think he'll make a great addition to any household. So hopefully if you have the yard space and your dog, if you have an existing pet, hopefully they can get along and he can find his forever home.
Furniture set and design supplied by Furniture Gallery, downtown Lloydminster.
Today I'm joined by Tyler with SGI, and we're going to be going over some safe driving tips after some news about the month of June. Care to elaborate on some of these statistics that you guys found?
When we saw the results coming back from the traffic safety spotlight in June, and we put out a release on that a couple of weeks ago now, that found that the number of distracted driving violations actually exceeded 1,000 for the first time since 2019. Now, this isn't necessarily a function of more people driving distracted, but it is likely a function of police enforcement being very effective. And one of the things that you see, particularly in the summer months, is different tactics being used by police to catch drivers who are distracted, whether that's using officers on motorcycles, as they do in Regina and Saskatoon, and I believe the RCMP has some motorcycle officers as well. You also see officers sometimes on bicycles, or even standing plainclothes on street corners. These are all tactics that police forces have used at various times to observe drivers on their cell phones. So it's something that drivers, I think, will want to be aware of, that police are very much aware that distracted driving is a leading cause of collisions, injuries, and fatalities in Saskatchewan. And this is something that it's a behavior that needs to be addressed, of course. And whether or not the monthly infraction numbers are a reflection of more drivers doing it or more drivers simply being caught, police wouldn't be able to catch that many drivers doing it if drivers weren't doing it. So our advice from SGI is to drivers is to just drive when you're driving, and not have to worry about getting one of those $580 tickets for being caught on your cell phone or being distracted in other ways.
I'd like to also touch on demerits and kind of how they can impact you.
In addition to if you're in a collision where you are partially or completely at fault, you get a certain number of demerits assigned to your driving record. But also the other way you get demerits is through traffic infractions, whether it's speeding tickets, distracted driving, impaired driving, and other violations that represent somebody doing something that isn't safe. So when it comes to distracted driving in particular, you get a significant number of demerits, 4 demerits for each distracted driving offense that you get, whether it's using a cell phone while driving, or the other distracted driving offense is called driving without due care and attention. So 4 demerit points. So this affects you in a couple of ways. First, there's the SGI Safe Driver Recognition Program. So if you have years of driving behavior that is safe, in which you have not caused any collisions, you haven't gotten any traffic violations, you earn points on the positive side of the scale. On the other side, if you get demerits, it takes away from that, and you can find yourself on the negative side of the scale. So either the way that these demerits can affect you is either by reducing the insurance discount you earned from your good driving behavior, or if you don't have that bank of positive points built up, the demerits will actually put you on the negative side of the scale, and there's an additional financial cost to it. And so the way that works is it's $50 per point. So if let's just make it simple. Let's say I start at 0 because I haven't, maybe I'm a new driver. I haven't really built up that good driving record yet. I start at 0, and then you get 4 demerit points for a distracted driving offense. So that takes me to -4. So at $50 per point, I have to pay an additional financial penalty of $200. Now, let's say I get a second distracted driving ticket within a year, and this happens more often than we'd like to see. So that's another 4 demerit points. So that takes me then to -8. And so cumulatively now that it's you have to pay another financial penalty, and it's actually at $50 per point at -8, you're paying a financial penalty of $400. And so you can see how you can kind of dig yourself into a hole if you keep causing collisions or getting traffic tickets. And now the good news is, under the Safe Driving Recognition Program, you only have to have 3 years of incident-free driving, no collisions, no tickets, and you reset yourself to 0. So it is possible to dig yourself out of that hole, absolutely. The other way that demerits affect you is they also we have what's called the Driver Improvement Program. So if you reach a certain number of demerits, it triggers additional driver sanctions. You might get a letter warning you that you're now in the program, and then at some point you might, if you keep earning demerits, you might find yourself having to take some additional education courses, or if you keep going and keep having issues and keep earning demerits, you will eventually find yourself getting your license suspended. Now, it takes a number of incidents to get to that point, and you will receive warnings along the way, of course, but it's something that we encourage drivers not to find themselves in that situation. And it's quite simple, really. It's simply obey traffic laws and drive safely so you avoid causing collisions. And these aren't things that you'll have to worry about.
And before we go today, Shelby, we're talking about something we haven't done in one of these light news segments here. It's Twitter.
So yeah, and this is going to be interesting. You're not going to like it.
There's always something new. I know a lot of people don't use Twitter, but if you use Twitter, there's always something new. So just days after Elon Musk had bright flashing X installed on the roof of the company formerly known as Twitter, the sign has now been removed after complaints and concerns over safety. So you can see once we start playing this video here, workers were spotted taking down the sign in San Francisco today. Now the city says it was installed without a permit, and Twitter says it was only meant to be temporary for an event. So
look at it flash like that too on top of that building. Like you could see videos if you are using Twitter or any social media.
Yeah,
there was a viral Twitter videos showing this flashing X and how it was facing an apartment building like right across.
See, I didn't even know that.
Yeah. That was a video that was showing that I don't know for sure. Of course, now it's down, so it doesn't really matter. But when it was flashing, people were like, this could cause so many seizures. It could cause so many episodes
just
here. Like what is happening?
Annoying as well, right?
Yeah. So I don't know what decision it was of Elon to want to do this, but I'm glad that it is now taken down, because I couldn't imagine living across from that and it's flashing all the time into your window. That's got to be so irritating.
Well, I think everything we've seen so far with going from Twitter to X, it seems like it's just randomly one day we're making this decision happen, and then we're kind of chasing afterwards. So who knows what's going to happen? It's really a crazy time.
I'm not a big fan of the switch. I don't know if some people are, but
who knows?
Yeah.
That's all the time we have, though, for this edition of Primetime Local News. Thank you all so much for joining us tonight, and we'll be back here again tomorrow.
Have a good night.